All right, folks, got an exciting video for you today. Two common retirement planning errors that I see. My name is Joe. I've been retired for 5 years, so I'm walking you through my journey up to retirement, making the decision to retire, and then what I've learned, 5 years since retiring. Um, I did operate as a retirement coach for about 2 years, talked to over 300 people, and I've seen a lot of problems and I see a lot of great plans. So I want to talk today about two very common ones that I've seen. First one is asset location and sequence return risk, why that's a big deal. And then the second one is how do you determine when to take Social Security? Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate those through a software package called New Retirement. Okay, let's go. I'm going to share. All right, should be sharing. I'm looking over here. I got a camera here and my screen over here. I'm not very sophisticated. Sorry about that. So we're going to take a look at this plan. And first thing I want you to notice, and I can't cover everything in New Retirement. It's a great software package, got as much depth as you could possibly want, but I'm just going to scratch the surface so you can see a few points. So let's look at this person's plan. They've got 1.35 million in 3 different accounts. So the first account is just they got everything in a IRA, 1.3 million. 1.3 million in an IRA. It's got a, when you go in here and look at rates of return, optimistic rate of return at 10%, pessimistic at 5%. Okay, so the average of those, and I'm under average here, and you can toggle between average, optimistic, and pessimistic. Video for another day. And then in an after tax, in a brokerage account, this person has 10% optimistic, 5% pessimistic. So they got $25,000, a nominal amount, more than nothing, but they got it invested in, let's say it's a total stock market. And then they've got another 25,000 in a high interest savings account. Again, low interest rate, pessimistic of 2, optimistic of 5. That puts the average right at 3.5. So looking at this person, or it's a couple, at their portfolio, it's just heavy into pre-taxed IRA. That's my point. Okay, very little here. Jumping down quickly, they own a $400,000 home, got no debt. Their income, they're both taking, this will come for part 2, they're taking Social Security at age 62, both bringing in $1,500 a month, so $3,000 a month. This couple is currently 62 and just retired. Okay, so just retired, $3,000 a month coming in from Social Security total for both of them. Expenses, I got expenses here, living expensive, $5,000 a month, some go-go spending for fun in retirement, and then slow-go spending after the age of maybe 75 to 80, slow go, additional spending in there. And let's see how this works out. So that's the couple. Okay, so we look at under average assumptions. So that's the average return. They've got an 84% probability of success. And you can see this, they got 10% probability of running out of money at age 81. 81. Okay, and then we can jump, I've been talking about so much, we can jump over to optimistic. This would be, if we got the higher end of those returns and inflation was low, all that kind of stuff, 92% probability of success, not bad. And they actually the 10% line never runs out of money. So if you can get those optimistic numbers, lean in hard on your, IRA returns, hey, things look pretty good. But okay, I'm going to go back to average here. I'm going to change a couple things, and I want you to see how simple this is for me to change. I'm going to go in, again, it's back at 84. I'm going to go into the assets, and I'm going to realign where this money is, okay? So I'm going to put their expenses are about $60,000 a year. That's what they need coming in, 60,000. So I'm going to put 180 in this brokerage account. Put 180,000 in here, 180, 1, 2, 3. But I'm going to put that in something more like bonds. I'm going to put that as like a 5% optimistic and maybe a 3% pessimistic. Okay. And then I'm going to go into this savings cash high money market CD. I'm going to put another 180 in there, 180,000. I'm going to leave it as 5% optimistic, 2% pessimistic. And I'm going to take that from my IRA and I'm going to put 990,000 in here. That's the right amount. Still the same rates of return. You'll notice. So the total amount of money is exactly the same, 1.35. The asset location has changed. I took money out of what's all in the stock market, all of my IRA, and I put it in safer investments. Okay, kind of you can call those buckets if you want. Bucket 1 being the checking account with 180,000. Bucket 2 being the brokerage account with 180,000. Really to go after that sequence of return risk. Asset location is what I'm talking about. Okay, so let's look at that overview now. And the plan goes from 84% probability of success to 87. Now it improved. And you like that, okay? Now, why did it improve? Well, the variability on the CDs, money market funds, and the variability on the bonds that are in the bucket 2 or the brokerage account, took out the wild swings that the stock market can have. This is a result of a Monte Carlo simulation. So I like that it improved. I'm actually disappointed it only improved from 84 to 87 because that doesn't sound like a lot, okay? It doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a big deal. When you're retired, running out of money, and having the stock market, I was just talking to a guy, stock market, the day this guy retired, stock market went down 30%. Well, protecting against the downside is a huge deal. This is technically right, but I want you to show by putting your money into lower risk assets, it actually improved your probability of success without impacting the bottom line long term. Okay. Now let's what you have at death. So let's go into optimistic to see what that looks like. Hell, that jumped up to 96 and it was 92. Okay, so asset location, big deal. Okay, next thing I want to talk about, I want to move the assumptions back to average. And I'm going to look at timing of Social Security. The only thing I'm going to change, from this is the plan with assets and accounts. This is my plan with the big brokerage account, the big high yield savings, 3 years in each. All I'm going to do, remember, this is 87% probability of success. I'm going to go into income and I'm going to change the timing of their Social Security from right now to 67. Are you currently? So I'm going to change this to 67. Simple to do. And you can change this to 70. You can change it to anything you want by month. Okay. So their benefit goes up to 3,000, and then I'm going to have my spouse do the same thing. Not currently receiving 67. 67. I'm going to hit save. And then I'm going to go to my plan overview. Only thing I changed is time to Social Security going from 62 to 67. Hit the overview. The overview went, the probability of success using Monte Carlo went to 97. You remember previously with Social Security at 62, it was at 87 using average assumption. 80, so 10% improvement in probability of success by moving the timing of Social Security. I'm not telling you when to take Social Security. There's a lot of factors that go into this. One is your health, your spouse's health, but also how all your assets work together. How, and it's impossible for me to say what's the right answer. But when you go in new retirement and you put in your assets, your debts, your income, your expenses, it works it all together and tells you what the right answer is. So I used 67, but you can also go into these explorers, Social Security Explorer, and it'll tell you what looks better for you. It'll also go into taxes. I'm not going into that. So today, what I did is I covered two common errors. Number one, asset location. Asset location, have it in the right location can help you improve your probability of success, protect against sequence of return risk primarily. And then timing of Social Security. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. So this software package that I'm using, I'm going to let's see if I can unshare now, stop sharing. The software package that I'm using is called New Retirement. I've been buying New Retirement for 3 years now. There's a link below, the first link you come to a free 2 weeks. Free 2 weeks to go in. Now, a lot of these features are, for the free version aren't there. It's a teaser. It's a teaser. See if you like the format. I showed some of the format here. You can compare different scenarios. There's so many different things I'll cover in future videos with examples, but hit the link for a free 2 weeks. After that, if you decide to unlock all the features, it's $120 a year. And if you're doing it yourself, or even if you're working with a financial advisor, this is a great tool. If you're using a financial advisor, you go into that meeting that you have 4 or 5 times a year with all this information, much higher level of discussion that can, $120 a year is peanuts. Okay. So, hey, let me know if you like this episode and like this format. It's Joe out.